Hi friends, welcome or welcome back to the Blue Butterfly Tarot. Today we're looking specifically into a no contact and or separation situation. What are they currently thinking? And I've got two piles for you. This is pile number one, this is pile number two. Pile number one is the Unveiled Tarot, and pile number two is Nature Spirit Tarot. Take your time, see which pile or piles you feel intuitively called to. I do want to say this is a general reading. Take what resonates, leave the rest. If one pile's messages don't resonate, then choose the other. If both piles' messages don't resonate, then it just means that maybe there aren't any messages for you in this video today. But I do hope that at least one of the piles' messages do resonate. There is going to be an extended for this reading, so let's take a look at what you can expect in the extended. So the first question that we're going to be looking into is, how do they feel about this no contact and separation? If there was one thing about the past they could change, what would it be? Why aren't they reaching out? What's stopping them from reaching out? And what are they wishing for? All right, so this is going to be there in the extended, and you can check out the details for the extended in the description box below. Please be careful of scammers. I would never reach out to you asking you to follow or subscribe or book a private reading, so just please be a little bit careful about that. My private readings are open right now. You can check the details in the description box below. I'm going to give you a few seconds now to see which pile or piles you feel intuitively called to, and then I shall begin. Hi Pile 1, for those of you who chose the Unveiled Tarot, this is going to be your reading, alright? Before we get into the reading, let's just take some time to realign our energies. So close your eyes, think of your person, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Alrighty, specifically for no contact and or separation situation, what is your person thinking? Could be about you, could be about your connection, could be about themselves with regards to this connection. We'll just keep it a little bit open-ended for now, okay? Let's see what wants to come through. We have the Knight of Wands, Two of Cups, Ten of Cups, Ten of Pentacles, Page of Wands, Ace of Swords, Page of Swords. Somehow communication seems to be heavy in the collective right now. Like, I think there's a wave of you who will experience communication. Anyway, that's just the message that's coming through, but let's take a look at your oracle cards. Black-Eyed Susan, recognition. I feel like reading this, Pile 1. Sometimes it is easier to bury hurt feelings and difficult emotions. Black-Eyed Susan gently helps you to wake up and recognize all aspects of yourself, even those you deem ugly or unworthy. Even your deepest, darkest truths need to be shown the light of love and honored as part of your human experience. Very beautiful. The Breathing Rose, heart healing, emotions connection, time eases, mixed signals, misunderstanding, 8080, abundance. Okay. No contact energy is very, very heavy in your reading, and I think the reason why it's so heavy, of course I intended it to be no contact, but the reason why it is heavy is because it is heavy on your person's end. Even if this is the Two of Cups that's coming out, the imagery that is being that I'm sensing is more of the Five of Pentacle energy. It's kind of like, even though there is the warmth of your love that your person feels, they still feel like they are out in the cold. And that is actually a very interesting interpretation that's coming through, that your person, for the lack of another way to say it, this burden of the separation has been weighing on them. They are thinking about reaching out. They are thinking about doing something small. I would not be surprised if your person has reached out in the past, in this whole no contact, like on and off cycles between the two of you. Like they come in, they check in, and then they go out. It looks like they are going to be repeating that at this point. The energy of communication is very heavy in your reading. One thing with mixed signals is this person could be portraying a different image, and they could be feeling something on the inside. But I think that even with Black Eyed Susan coming out, I think that your person is scared to actually show you what they are feeling on the inside, which is why it probably has been really frustrating on your end, pal one, where you intuitively feel something different that your person is experiencing, and then when you see them, or when you see what they post on social media, or when you just are tapping into their more 3D energy, it's completely different, or it doesn't look like they're going through the pain of this separation. But I do feel that when you actually tap into their 5D energy, you do understand this turmoil that your person is feeling. One thing that is coming through very strong is your person desires a future with you. It's kind of like with the 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups coming through, they hate what is going on between the two of you. It's kind of like they want a certain future with the two of you, and for some of you, it feels like a very traditional kind of future, however they wish to define it for themselves. But there's definitely a path that your person is seeing for themselves, and right now, it's kind of like, how do I bridge the gap between where we are at, which is pretty dull and lifeless, if you can see over here, and then the future that they envision for themselves is, having a family. For some of you, depends on how you define it as well, or a more traditional route. Again, I said, depending on what your person defines as traditional. There's some kind of set path that your person has in their mind, and the only person who fits that image, regardless of who is around your person, or regardless of options that your person may have, the only person is you. I really think that your person is struggling to hold back what they are thinking and feeling, and even whatever image your person is portraying, it's in those few moments in a day when they feel a little bit composed that they are able to show you that side of them. But for like 99% of the day, they're actually in that chaotic energy that you are sensing. For some reason, your person wants to kind of clear the air between the two of you. So for some of you, maybe there has been a misunderstanding, maybe there was some kind of miscommunication between the two of you. But it's kind of like, how do I even bring forth that clarity? Because maybe you must have, it's possible that you might have blocked your person, or given how things ended between the two of you, maybe one or both of you are waiting for the other person to reach out. Maybe egos are playing in a little bit over here, where you want the other person to reach out and you're not going to make the first move. You could be feeling that way. Your person also could be feeling that way. There's some kind of blocked energy that's coming through, or maybe it just feels, how do I say this? It's kind of like forbidden energy is also coming through, or I guess it's more withholding. Yeah, that I feel withheld. Sorry, I'm struggling with my words. Yeah, it's also the words like, what do I say? There is clarity that needs to happen between the two of us, but what do I even say? How do I even put my thoughts across? I don't even understand these thoughts that I'm having. How can I put them across to my person? And I also feel that there are a lot of emotions that are coming up to the surface. Like, how when you imagine a future for yourself and you're too scared to even believe that future is possible, that does raise a lot of internal turmoil within you, whether you should hope or not, whether you should be happy if it's a possibility, whether you should not be happy, whether you should allow yourself to feel that way, so on and so forth. So I think that even internally, it's not just their thoughts, but it's also their feelings. There's a lot of chaos within them, but it is through that chaos, it is through all of those emotions coming up to the surface that things will start to get clear for your person about what they are feeling, what they are thinking. At this point in time, what your person is currently thinking is more long-term, as in kind of, I would say a bit of daydreaming energy, kind of thinking about you know, the future that maybe both of you had planned for both of, like the two of you at some point, or, you know, thinking about how things could actually work out. But the gap between where both of you are at to where they want this to be, or where they had hoped this would be, is too far. And I feel like suddenly your person gets surges to reach out to you, to talk to you, and then they reach out to you, and then they panic again because there's absolute lack of clarity about what they're feeling, what they're thinking, and then they withdraw again. And I would not be surprised if you are so frustrated with this on and off energy by your person, because with the Page of Swords coming up, I do feel a little bit more of sneak peek energy coming through. So you can expect communication from this person, but it's going to be more of a check-in, or this person will just and not even like the message by itself might not be a check-in like, hey, how are you? It might just be something random, like them just sending you a forward and then seeing how you react to it. It's more of checking in to see where you are at, to see if you are still holding space for this connection, to feel or to understand if you still have space for them in your life while they figure this out. So I do feel a little bit of that checking in energy, like more of checking in on your energy, not checking in with you. All right, that's a little bit of a difference that is coming through. But I do feel with the breathing rose coming out over time, all of the emotions, because they're coming up to the surface, and even though your person at this point in time does not know how to handle it, I think that very slowly and steadily they will start to find clarity. They will start to understand how to handle these emotions, and it is through this process that your person will slowly start healing from whatever caused the no contact between the two of you. Then their communication will start to get more steady. But up until that point, Pal 1, I would expect a little bit of this kind of like, hey, and then just disappear kind of energy until they feel that stability within themselves. Overall, I do feel that your person, it's, how do I say this? It's good in a way that they're going through this chaos, because first off, they're not resisting it. They're allowing the chaos to be. And because they're doing that, the chaos is going to settle. And that's what we want. You know, it's because they're allowing the chaos to just be, and they're allowing themselves to kind of be wrapped up in their feelings, wrapped up in their thoughts. That's a good thing, because that means they're allowing space for alignment. They're allowing space for clarity to seep in once the energy of those you know, emotions that have come up to the surface, as well as the thoughts. Yeah, once that calms down, there will be clarity on your person's end. But up until that point, just expect a little bit of in and out energy. All right. I don't know how you're feeling, Pal 1. If you don't want in and out energy from your person, you can always set boundaries. You absolutely have free will. All right. I want to get you one message. Yeah. I do feel that this person can't get you out of their mind. Like, no matter what they try or do or distract themselves, you're just there. Your energy is just around them. They can't take you out of their mind. And so I think that maybe there must have been resistance in the past, because now there is zero resistance on your person's end. It's kind of like they've thrown their hands up and they're like, okay, you know what? I have tried resisting to, you know, this connection. I have tried resisting thoughts of my person. I have tried, you know, distracting myself. I have done everything possible that I can to move on from this connection, and I have not been able to. I give up. And it is because they've kind of, it's surrender, but in a way it's actually aligned, because it is through that surrender that your person is also allowing those emotions, those thoughts to come to the surface. It might be chaotic right now, but there is a method to that madness. All right. So overall, I would say, even though it might not seem like it on the surface, Pal 1, I would say that your person is stepping into alignment, because they have surrendered. There is zero resistance at this point. And there's also a desire to gain clarity, and they're not doing anything about it, but that's actually the most aligned way, because when they do something about it, they might actually be blocking those thoughts from settling down, or those feelings from settling down. So it's kind of like they're allowing themselves to sit with their emotions and their thoughts, which I feel is very aligned for clarity to set in on your person's end. Clarity about where they want to take this connection and how do they get there with you. All right? This is where I will leave you for today. Pile 1, I really hope that this reading brought you the comfort, clarity, and confirmation you were looking for. There is going to be an extended for this reading, so let's take a look at what you can expect in the extended. So first off, we're going to be looking into how do they feel about this no contact separation. If there was one thing about the past they would change, what would it be? Why aren't they reaching out? What's stopping them from reaching out? What are they wishing for? Okay, so these are the questions that we're going to be looking deeper into in the extended. Details about the extended is going to be there in the description box below. Now, if this is where you'd like to leave me, then I just wanted to say thank you so much for all your love and support. My private readings are also open right now. You can check the details in the description box below. Pile 1, take care, trust your intuition. You always have free will. Catch you in my next one. Bye-bye. Hi, Pile 2. For those of you who chose Nature Spirit Tarot, this is going to be your reading, all right? Before we get into the reading, let's just take some time to realign our energies. So close your eyes. Think of your person. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Alrighty, Pile 2, specifically for a no contact and or separation situation, what is your person currently thinking? It could be about you, it could be about this connection, it could be about themselves with respect to this connection. We'll just keep it a little bit open-ended and see what wants to come through, alright? Okay, let's see what we have here. We have Death, we have 7 of Swords, we have the Queen of Wands, we have the 3 of Cups, we have the King of Swords, we have the Knight of Swords, with the Queen of Cups. Okay, I also have your Oracle cards. We have Evening Primrose, Rebirth. Evening Primrose helps you to release all wounds and feelings of rejection, self-pity, and other heart-heavy issues you may have carried from birth or early childhood. She allows for a sort of spiritual rebirthing or a birthing of your true self, so you can make room for more joy, fun, playfulness in your life. We have Brothers of the Rose, a sacred masculine, honor, protect, support, travel plans. 7777, miracles, conflict. Okay, there's heavy communication energy coming through in your reading. It's interesting. There's something about the collective that's going through right now, something to do with communication. Either you are expecting communication or communication is meant to come your way at this point in time. Even in Pile 1, communication was strong, but the semantics of the energy is actually a little bit different. So let's get into that. Your person is quite conflicted within themselves. They're kind of thinking about whether or not they should reach out to you. I think that much time has passed in this no contact. It doesn't feel new, like this energy between the two of you, the dynamic between the two of you. And more so, I feel like the person that your person was before they went into no contact, there's been a lot of change within your person in the time that has passed. For some of you, this could even be years. I would not be surprised if the person that you thought of before clicking this video might actually be different from the person actually coming through, because this feels like years of no contact, or it could feel like years even though it's just been maybe a couple of months. But I do feel a very extended period of time, and your person right now is very conflicted within themselves whether they should reach out or not. This could be like a long lost friend. This could be a long lost partner from your past, an ex. That energy is also coming through, but it doesn't have to be romantic. That's the thing. Your person's kind of thinking about the times that both of you spent together. And I think that there is something about this connection that your person values. I think that there was a lot of love between the two of you. Your person is recognizing that the version of themselves that you knew no longer exists. With death coming out and rebirth, that there's just such beautiful synchronicity. But I also think that it is very telling of your person. Perhaps in the past, the version of themselves that showed up with you might have been very I don't want to say fake, but I think that it was just very misaligned with who they truly were on the inside. Maybe there was societal pressure on how this person had to show up, or your person thought that they had to behave a certain way. It might also just be a lot of wounds coming up to the surface that made your person be a different version of themselves, a more wounded version of themselves. But now I feel like there has been a lot of shift within your person, specifically a lot of masculine energy healing. And gender doesn't matter. It's the energy within. We carry both energies within ourselves. So it's just that in particular, I think that there is a lot of masculine healing that has masculine energy healing, sorry, that has gone within your person, and specifically it's masculine healing that has allowed the feminine energy in your person to thrive and come out and feel soft and nurtured. It's That's the duality that's coming through very strongly, which I think it's a very, very beautiful message to come through. Like today, your person is comfortable both in their masculine energies as well as their feminine energies. There's a very healthy and beautiful balance. We have the Queen of Wands coming up and the King of Swords. So there is a balance of intuition, compassion, kindness, of, just their presence, their magnetism, the playfulness, the openness, but there's also, that anchoring presence, even accountability, stability, direction, focus, clarity in how they move as well. So very, very beautiful and healthy balance. And so I think that your person has been kind of reminiscing about this connection and thinking, okay, well, maybe a past version of myself didn't work out with this person, but now I'm a changed person. Like I'm no longer that version of myself. So maybe there is a chance for things to work out between the two of you. For some of you, this could be a romantic connection. But like I said, it doesn't have to be. The common theme for all of you is that there was a lot of love between the two of you, even when this person was misaligned. And so it's kind of like they want to explore what this connection could be with this new version of themselves, or rather with a more aligned version of themselves. And I think that they're hoping for things to shift in your connection. I think that your presence is something that this person deeply cherishes, or at one point in their life thought that maybe both of you will come back together when things got better. So this is heavy reconciliation energy, but this is also heavy communication energy. This person might come in with more of a hey, hello kind of energy, more to see, just kind of someone popping up out of the blue in your energy field. It's going to be more of that, and it's going to be more surface level to begin with, but you are going to feel the intensity. And given how direct this person is, they might actually just, within one or two sentences, might actually just put forth their thought process, like, hey, I reached out to you because this was my intention. There's something about the intention being communicated very, very clearly by this person, and it's going to be on point. It might be a bit emotional, like your person might reference to the past, and then maybe I do feel a bit of an apology coming through, but it's more so that I wasn't a more aligned version of themselves. Of course, I don't think that these are the exact sentences that are going to come through. It's going to be more that version of me does not exist anymore, or who I was in the past, that's not who I am anymore. Yeah, it's going to be more of that energy coming through. So it's not an apology per se, but it's also not brushing off the fact that they have been showing up in an energy that was misaligned in the past. They are going to own up to that part of them. There's massive, massive healing that's happened with this person. I really don't know what life experiences they've been through in the time that both of you have spent apart, because your person's not thinking about that energy is also not coming through. But to have this level of healing, something must have happened on your person's end to push them through this process of healing. All right, so maybe there might have been a big change, life change in your person's life, where in order to handle that or cope with that, they had to, or they had no choice but to heal. And right now, the conflict is more about whether or not they should reach out. That's where your person is. Like, do they leave you alone, or do they reach out to you? Because I think that deep down, your person wants a reconciliation. They do feel that this version of themselves is more aligned to who you are, and there is a possibility of, you know, things picking up, of, you know, both of you having joyous moments together and just being just happy with each other. It's a very simple thought that your person has, like both of you can actually be happy together in this energy with this version of themselves. And so right now it's kind of more in their thoughts about, okay, well, do I or do I not reach out? Let's see which side they're leaning towards, all right? Or any other message that wants to come through, but I do actually want to see which side they're leaning towards. Of course, we'll get deeper in the extended, but just, you know, just to wrap up the reading, I do want to see what's happening on their end, or if there's any messages that want to come up for you. Yes, they're leaning towards taking that leap of faith. I think that there might be a little bit of fear. I don't see much fear, actually, to be honest. It's just more of the question of, do they disturb your peace, or do they disturb you? Do they engage with you? Are you going to be open? It's more of that energy, but it looks like they're leaning towards taking that leap of faith, to reach out to you. So you can expect a very unexpected communication. Expect the unexpected, but like I said, it might not even be the person that you thought of when you clicked on this reading, pal 2, but for some of you, yes, it could actually be. For the common theme for all of you is that you have not heard from this person in a long while, or it's felt like a long time, and this person has had massive life changes in that time apart. I don't know if you are aware of it, but it does look like a lot's happened. But how you'll know if who this person is you've not heard from them, you've not tapped into their energy for quite some time now, and it's going to be very, very unexpected. Of course, you're hearing me say this, so you might have a certain expectation, but it's still going to be unexpected on your end. That's the energy that's coming through. All right, pile 2, this is where I would leave you for today. I really hope that this reading brought you the comfort, clarity, and confirmation you were looking for. Hold on, I have the extended. Sometimes I forget what to say. There is going to be an extended, so let's take a look at what you can expect in the extended. Okay, how do they feel about this no contact or separation between the two of you? If there was one thing about the past that they could change, what would it be? Why aren't they reaching out? What's stopping them from reaching out? So in your pile specifically, we know that they're going to reach out, so we're going to get more information about their thought process at this point in time, or their feelings about reaching out. What could spark that threshold of them reaching out? Because I think there is, even though they're willing or they're leaning towards taking that leap of faith, there is a threshold point beyond which they will reach out. So what is that threshold point? What can you expect on your end? And we're also going to be looking at what are they wishing for. Okay, so this is the extended. You can definitely check details of that in the description box below. My private readings are also open right now. You can check the details in the description box below. Pal 2, take care, trust your intuition. You always have free will. Catch you in my next one. Bye-bye.